Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Withers here with Wednesday's maths lesson. Today we are going to be looking at pictograms and bar charts, as I told you at the end of yesterday's lesson. But as usual, before we do that, we've got our 6 arithmetic questions. So pause the video now and have a go. Okay, let's see how you got on then. Question 1 is a BODMAS question. So as usual, I would write out the word BODMAS. And then I've got to decide which operations I have got in that question. So I have got a divide and I've got a multiplication. So in the word BODMAS, the D comes before the M. So I've got to do the divide first. So 8 divided by 2, that gives me 4. And then I do 4 times 5, which gives me the answer 20. Question 2, I've got a fraction times by a whole number. Remember, t for times, t for top number. So my numerator changes, it becomes 2 times 7, which is 14. And my denominator stays as 3. Okay, question 3 is a place value question. We've got 6,215 equals 6,000, add something, add 15. So if we looked at our place value columns there, we were looking at the 2 there, which is in the hundreds column, so our missing number was 200. Question 4, minus 2 add 7. Remember with these questions, sometimes it helps to write out a number line. We've got minus 2, whatever, 0. First of all, we've got to add 7, but if I add 2, that takes me up to the 0. I've got to add 7 in total, so I need to add another 5 more. So once I've got to my 0, I've added another 5, so the answer must be 5. Question 5, 2,400 divided by 6. Here I've got to use known facts. I've got to use what I know to help me work this out. So I know that 24 divided by 6 is 4. But 2,400 is 100 times bigger. It's got 2 zeros on the end. So my answer is going to have 2 zeros on the end as well. It's going to be 100 times bigger. So my answer is 400. Question 6. Again, I need to use what I know. I know that 3 times 4 is 12. But this question says 30 times 4. So it's 10 times bigger. So my answer must also be 10 times bigger as well. So my answer is 120. Stretch questions. Question 1, we were looking for the answer 401,940. And question 2, we were looking for the answer 63. Okay, daily times table practice. Give yourself 1 minute. Pause the video now and have a go. And here we are going into the main part of our lesson today then. As I said at the beginning of the video, we're looking at pictograms and bar charts today. We're going to start off with looking at pictograms. So pictograms are special charts that have little pictures to represent information. Keys to success with this: look very carefully at the information that is presented. Make sure you read the key. Okay, pictogram always has a little key. Here it tells us that a circle equals 20 children. And the second one, it tells us a cake equals 40 cakes. Okay, and then read the question really carefully. Two of you got in touch with me yesterday about the line graphs questions, telling me that there was a mistake with the question, and it was just that we hadn't read that question really carefully. Okay, so first little question we'll have a look at together then. Year 6 made a pictogram to show how they travelled to school. Okay, so the pictogram shows how the children got to school. We've got this many children walked, this many took the bus, this many in the car, this many on a bike. Now our question says how many more children walked to school than came by car. So I want to look at the walking column and the car column. Right, I know that one circle equals 20. So I could even label that 20, 20, and 20. So first of all, how many walked? Well, there's 60 children then that walked, aren't there? 20, 20, and 20 is 60. How many came in the car? Well, I've got one lot of 20 And then I've only got half a circle. Well, half a circle must be half of 20, so that one must be worth 10. So 20 and 10 tells me that 30 came in the car. Right, now I'm going to read my question really carefully one more time. How many more children walked to school than came by car? Right, so I need to know the difference between these numbers. So I need to do 60 take away 30. I could do that as a column subtraction, but I don't need to. I can do that in my head. 60 take away 30 gives me the answer 30 children. Okay, the second pictogram question then. I'd like you to pause the video now and have a go yourself, and then we'll go through the answer. Okay, let's see how we got on then. So this time the pictogram shows how many cakes were sold at a cake sale. I'm looking at my key that one picture of a cake equals 40 cakes. The question says how many more cakes did class 1 sell than class 3? So in this question, I just want to get my mouse. I don't know why I can't use my mouse at the moment. Sorry about that then, Year 6. I think my computer got a little bit frozen, but we're all sorted now. Okay, so we're looking at class 1 and class 3. So class 1, I need to know how many cakes. So I've got 40 and 4, so I could label these 40, 40, 40, 40, and 40. So 40 add 40 is 80, add another 40 is 120. Add another 40 is 160, add another 40 is 200. So 200 cakes in class 1, and class 3 was 40, plus another 40, plus half of 40, because I've only got half of an image there, so that must be 20. So 40 add 20 is 100. Right. Now my question, read my question again. How many more cakes did class 1 sell than class 3? Well, class 1 sold 200, class 3 sold 100, so my answer then is 100. Hopefully you got that. So with pictograms, it's all about looking carefully at the question and looking carefully at the key. Okay. The other kinds of questions you're going to come up against a good day then are bar chart questions. Now bar charts are similar to pictograms in that they display information, however they don't have little pictures, they have bars instead. So I've got a first question that we'll look at together, and then the second one I'll ask you to attempt independently. So the first question, the bar chart shows the eye colour of the children in class 4. So we've got the number of children goes up the side and the eye colours are along the bottom. How many children were surveyed altogether? Right, so I need to look at the information carefully. I need to work out what each bar is worth in my bar chart. So brown eyes, I can see that that meets 8. My bar comes up to the number 8, so I know that that is 8 children. So I'm going to write number 8 on there. Grey eyes, when I look at that, it comes halfway between the 0 and the 2. So halfway between 0 and 2, I know that that's 1. So one child must have had grey eyes. Then green eyes, I'm looking along the side, and if I might need to draw a line across here, I can see green eyes, that bar comes halfway between the 4 and the 6. So that's 5 children have got green eyes. And then blue eyes, I can see blue eyes comes up to halfway between the 8 and the 10. Halfway between 8 and 10 must be 9. So I know how many children have got each colour eyes, but now I want to know all together. So I need to add up those numbers. So 8 add 1 is 9, add 5 gives me 14, add another 9 gives me 23. Okay, next question I'd like you to have a go at independently. So pause the video now and then we'll go through the answer together. Okay, let's see how you got on. The question says, how many books were sold in March and April in total? So in March, we've got 40 books. That bar meets that 40 line, doesn't it? In April, it's halfway between 30 and 40. What number comes halfway between 30 and 40? That's 35. Then I've got to add them together because the question says in total. So 40 add 35, 75 books. Okay. The final type of question you're going to encounter today on maths.co.uk is going to ask you to construct a bar chart. So this time, they have given you the information, they've drawn the bars on, but we've got to label the axis and come up with a scale up the side. So, we've got, this time it's got colour of cars and number of cars. We've got the colours in our bars, and we've got to label the axis. So these are our options. This is what we can choose from here. Well, those along the bottom, they're colours, aren't they? So I know I'm not going to choose cars along the bottom, I'm going to choose colour. So along the bottom, I'm going to write it under that box because I don't think I can fit it in. Okay. Along the bottom, that axis is colour. Then we've got number of cars, isn't it? So again, I'm not going to write it in the box because I don't think I can fit it in. Got cars. Now, the tricky part then is deciding what these numbers are up the side and what we're going to go up in. And the way to do this is to look at some of the information in the table. So for red, we know red is 25. So 25 must come halfway between these two numbers. So, for example, if I thought, hang on a minute, it's going to be going up in twos, we would have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Well, 25 wouldn't come there then, would it? So it can't be going up in twos. How about going up in fives then? It would be 5, 10, 15, 20. Well, 25 wouldn't come in between 5 and 10 either, so it can't be going up in fives. So I'm going to try going up in tens then. 10, 20, 30. 25 is halfway between 20 and 30, isn't it? So I must have got it right now. It must be going up in tens. So you've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, so the way to do it is use the information from the table to guide you and work out what this is going up and down the sides. Alright then, there is a second question a bit like that one for you to have a go at. So pause the video now and I'd like you to have a go. Okay then, let's see how you got on with that. Along the bottom then, we have got the children's names, so that label must be name. Up the side we've got number of, this time we're looking at goals scored. So, number of goals scored. And then the tricky part, what are we going up in? So I'm going to have a look at Liz, just because she's closest to my y-axis. And Liz scored 7 goals. So I know that this number here must be 7. So once again, I'm going to try going up in twos here, because I think that might work. 2, 4, 6, 8. 7 comes halfway between 6 and 8, doesn't it? So that's going to work for me. My scale this time round must go up in twos. And I can check that. Let's have a look at Jess. From my table, Jess scored 4 goals. If I read across, Jess has got 4 goals, so that must be right. Okay, what I'd like you to do now then, Year 6, is pause the video and go and have a go at the work on maths.co.uk. When you've done that, if you come back to the video, and we will do a reasoning question and our plenary together. Okay then, you're here for the reasoning question, so you must have already done your work on maths.co.uk. This is our question today then. So this is a chart of the money they collected. Okay, so this is a pictogram. Money collected. We've got Sheena collected this much money, Gary collected this much money, and Pip collected this much money. First of all, it says estimate how much money Sheena collected, and then it says together Gary and Pip collected more than £60. Explain how the chart shows this. Okay, so I'd like you to pause the video now, have a think about this question, but this is a reasoning question, so we're looking for really detailed explanations here. Okay, let's see how you got on then. So Sheena, we're estimating how much she collected, but we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, and we've got this bit here. Okay, so we know it's £40, and then what we've got to decide then is how much this bit is worth. Now, it's not worth half of a £10, but it's worth a little bit less than that. So a sensible estimation here might be £44. Okay, because it's less. If it was 45, that would be a half circle, wouldn't it? It's got to be less than that. So £44, £43. Remember, it's just an estimate, so it doesn't have to be perfectly accurate. Okay, next then, we've got Gary and Pip collected more than £60. So we've got to explain how the chart shows this. So Gary collected 20 and a bit more than half. So perhaps Gary collected £26 if we're estimating. And Pip collected 10, 20, 30, 35, isn't it? Because that's a whole half there. So Pip collected £35. So then I've got to add those together. 26 add 35. Five add 6 gives me 11. 2 add 3 is 5, add my 1 is 6, altogether £61. So my reasoning answer then, I need to explain what I've done. So Gary, just change my font to be a more reasonable size. Gary collected more than £25. He collected 2 whole £10 and more than half of another £10. Pip collected £35 because she collected 3 whole £10 and half of a £10. Altogether, this makes £61, which is more than £60. So again, I've got that nice detailed explanation showing my calculation and showing how I worked out the answer there. Okay, the final part of today's lesson then is we've got that exact same pictogram for you, but what I would like you to do today for the final part of this is to come up with your own question relating to that pictogram. Okay, so I'd like you to pause the video now and have a go. And if you'd like to send in your questions that you come up with, you are welcome to do so. I'd love to read those. All right then, Year 6, that's the end of our lesson for today. I will be back tomorrow with an investigation.